Hello, friends. Happy Friday. How is everyone doing this evening? I am doing just fine. Glad the weekend is finally here and good to see so many folks gathered already. I am smoking the Matches Memorial Friday 7 Illy with Haunted Bookshop, as is the tradition here. And let's see who we got gathered here so far. There's my buddy Tim Fournier. Tim, I don't understand the joke. Ron Hardcrackers, you're always just in time, buddy. Piper on the 45. Jeff there, Everett. Voodoo 07, good to see you, Voodoo. Armchair Piper. Hello, Ed. Signal Man Tony from Rhode Island. Todd Barstow. Kevziev. Hope I'm pronouncing that right, my friend. And Steve Russell. And I think I'm all caught up now. So how is that, and how is everyone doing tonight? Gonna try something a little different tonight, so we'll see how that goes. It'll probably be a disaster, but I made a technological innovation. I still haven't figured out what YouTube's doing to me. It doesn't like me lately. It's running ads like you would not believe, and like it's almost unwatchable now. And my wife watches YouTube, and she doesn't have that problem. So I've done something to anger the YouTube gods. Dry Fly Fisher 11, hello there. Michael Case, good to see you, Michael. Michael's got Classic Virginia in a custom-built Rhodesian. Sir Zenith. Is that a La Creme cigar? Nice. Tim, I got the P in the P part. I just didn't understand why pea gravel under running water would be regular gravel. I got that it was a urine joke. I just don't understand how it changes. Anyway. Urban Hermit's update on his dad says he's in a rehab center. He went there yesterday. Well, I hope he's doing well there, Everett, and please give him all our best, and he's still got all our thoughts and prayers there, buddy. George Tiedemann, good evening. Hillbilly Piper, did I catch you earlier, Donnie? Well, if not, I'll say hello twice. Piper on the 45 loses 3 points. You might need those points later, Piper. Kevin Dolan, good evening, Kevin. Daniel Leslie, just curious, my thoughts on the thicker walled pipe. Daniel, you're going to make me put my glasses on. Just curious on your thoughts on a thicker walled pipe. Do you feel about they smoke longer and better than a thin wall pipe and better in smooth form than rusticated? Hi, Daniel. I don't see any difference, to be honest with you. I mean, certainly if the wall's very thin, it's going to get hotter, but you just slow down and that's okay. I don't like the very thick walled pipes. I mean, I have some, but the very thick walled ones I clench a lot and they're just heavier. But I don't think they smoke better or worse. I think pretty much all pipes will be smokable if you take the time to learn how to smoke them. There's a few exceptions to that, but if they're, a reasonably made pipe, I think they can be smoked. Got the monster, who has just tamped his last for this bowl because he can't go down any further because of the conical bottom. Oh, once you wash off the pee, I understand now, Tim. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I had to make you explain that. I'm a moron, as you well know. Yeah, Doug. Last night's game was. I won't say it was disappointing because it was actually a really good pitching game. But yeah, they're starting play right now, and it just shows you how much I love you guys. I'm here talking to you when I could be watching the Phillies. I would hate to see the Diamondbacks back in the World Series too, Doug. So let's go Phillies. And Palm's got himself a Rocky Patel Edge Light cigar. I've had the Edge. I have not had the Edge Light, but Palm says it's a good one. The Smooth Piper. How you doing, Peter? And there's Phil Rivera. How you doing, Phil? Hey, Savinelli. Very nice, Peter. Very nice Smooth Piper, I should say. Uh, Daniel, I don't know if it's true that some pipes won't ever break in. I mean, I don't think I've had any pipes that wouldn't break in. Um, if you smoke them enough, most people think breaking in a pipe takes 2 or 3 bowls or something, and it's a matter of building cake. That's not. That's just building cake. Breaking in the pipe takes 70 to 100 bowls. So if you're willing to put that into it, I think that pipe will eventually perform for you. And a lot of that is just learning how to smoke it, because every pipe is different, and you need to learn a little bit from it. Um, any tips on breaking in a pipe is just what I just said, Daniel. Just smoke the heck out of it. Smoke it. That's why when I'm breaking in a pipe, I will smoke it every day for a couple weeks. Just it gives me time to get to know it. Uh, and if you do that and you burn out your pipe, I'm not responsible. I've never had it happen. I know people say it'll happen, but I've never had it happen. Okay, Michael's recommending a Great Carter Hall tour. We'll have to take a look at that. Jeffrey Feinberg has asked if anyone's heard that most Astley's blends are being discontinued. Paul wants to know why they don't make a machine that will break the pipe in. Because that's boring, Paul. Breaking it in is half the fun. And Phil says pipe carvers just smoke them. Yep. I think there's an old saying. Lefty Cray was a world-renowned fly fisherman, fly caster, fly tyer. He was a fly tying or fly fishing celebrity. And Lefty Cray's one of his famous quotes is, "There's more BS in fly fishing than in a Kansas City feedlot." And I think the same can be said about pipe smoking. We love to make up rituals and superstitions and everything else about how to best do this. And the truth is, unless you overpack it and unless you puff too fast, you're probably going to be okay. Yes, the urban hermit breaks his pipes in by making them tap out. That man abuses his poor pipes. Couch, hello, good to see you, buddy. And Stanley Smith, how you doing, Stanley? And there's Big Dave. Did I miss you earlier, Big Dave? Good evening to you, sir. Dry Fly Fisher says he's heard about the Astley blends as well. Some might be staying. Doug Owens says breaking in a pipe is like breaking a horse. Ride it hard until it becomes your friend and not a challenge. That's my approach for sure, Doug. Bill says there's been rumors of Astley's discontinuing since 2019. Jeffrey Feinberg, I think, is saying that 109 and 44 are the blends that are staying. That's true, Michael. I don't know that anybody was ever bucked off by a pipe, but you never know. Oh, Sir Zenith, that's just a bowl coating. That's going to help you not, maybe, if you don't know what you're doing, it'll help you not burn out the wall of the pipe. Although it's pretty darn hard to burn out the wall of the pipe. But that's not going to help you break it in. Breaking it in and getting to know it and everything else. Yeah, Doug, that will take the romance out of it, won't it? Oh my goodness. Welsh Piper, well, thank you for popping in, my friend. You you have a good time at work there, buddy. Oh yeah, Phil, I don't think Sabinelli's making anything. Hey, Big Dave, Yahtzee's important. I'd rather you do that than, well, that's not really true, but I'm glad you finished the game. I hope you finished the game. You know, Tim, it could be, but then you could be sleeping like a log. Oh, Phil, you're going to get in trouble for that one. I'm trying to get my. I have not been paying attention. What happened with the ALCS game? If anybody's watching the Phillies game in the background and wants to throw in a score now and then, I won't mind that, just so you know. I doubt there's any score right now. Yeah, the prices will increase if they go away for sure, Doug. Oh, Couch, you're a mean dad. That's like telling your kids which one's your favorite. Well, gee, if they're made by K&K Dry Fly Fisher, I can't imagine why they would stop producing them. Ah, okay, Kevin. Yeah, ugh, indeed. If you don't watch it, Couch, she's gonna pack her bags and come live with her dog, dog, godfather, whatever the heck I am. God, dog, father. That's true, Big Dave. You may be required to root for the Phillies under this situation. Yeah, it wasn't a bad game last night though. I thought it was a pitcher's game for sure, and came down to the end. You know what's weird, Doug, and maybe somebody, maybe Big Dave or somebody else can explain this to me, but I saw their mascot last night. You know, like their stadium big plushy thing that runs around and annoys people. And it's not a rattlesnake. It appears to be some sort of a cat, which, you know, I hate cats, so it makes me despise them even more. But yeah, the mascot's not a rattlesnake. I guess their logo is, but I don't know. Steve, is your son an only child, or are you just being a really mean father? That's a good point, Tim. About the fingers, indeed. It wasn't. Yeah, Phil. Yeah. It turns out I do have some Native American blood in me. My sister was doing that ancestry.com thing, and she found out that we have Cherokee. And I'm still trying to get the details from her, which shouldn't be that hard, but is because our buddy Kilted Piper Steve, or I'm sorry, Bearwolf, he says there's a book where you can actually look up people of the Cherokee Nation, and not everybody's in there, but if they are in there, it's like proof. Daniel, do not send me a kitten. That will not be a good day. I'm horribly allergic to cats. And Couch, I'm surprised you hadn't thought of that yet. There you go, Michael. Their own personal St. Patrick. Just not being creative enough, Doug. They could have done like one of those Chinese dragon type things and had multiple people running around the stadium with the thing over their head. Big Dave, I get the rattlesnake connection, but why is the in-stadium mascot a cat? Tim says he doesn't think the Philly Fanatic is a female horse. It's not. I don't know what it is, but it's not a female horse. Oh, that is cool, Phil. Man, you've got an interesting family. No, Troy, I do not want to milk cow. How about we just not send me any animals? That would be great. Hair? No, no, Tim, I don't want a hairless cat either. I'm not at a haunted bookshop. I just opened the new luxury pouch right here. Opened it yesterday, I think. Oh, Philly. Gotcha, Phil. Ah, there's a lot of Phils in there. Okay, thank you for explaining the joke. A milk camel? Say camel or caramel? It does say camel. Yeah, rattlesnake would scare all the fans, Big Dave, I'm sure. I'm sure. So I think I figured out a way that we can do trivia. And I'm thinking maybe next week is going to be the Friday before Halloween, which is Monday, I think. I normally do something fun for Halloween. Oh, I'm blocking Bela tonight. There he is. Um, we usually do something for Halloween, and I was thinking maybe we could do a little trivia and maybe have a couple prizes and have some fun. But in the past, it's been difficult because what I see the comments is not necessarily in the order that you see. But I think I figured out a way to do it. As they say in Friends, the hairless cat, why is it inside out? Ugh! A rattle cat, perhaps. That would make sense. Quarter moccasin for Tampa Bay. There you go, Doug. So, getting not back to Halloween, but more in the Halloween spirit as we're talking about snakes and cats and such. You know, why would a cat get along with a snake? You'd think the snake would bite the cat. Well, I was watching something last night and a comment was made that I thought was really insightful regarding cats. Guy was talking about the movie Aliens, which, oh, Phil just said hairless cats look like aliens. The movie Alien, the first, Sigourney Weaver Alien movie. And he said, the most terrifying thing to him in that movie was the cat. Because the cat was never hunted by the alien, was never bothered by the alien, and watched every murder happen. And he's fairly certain that the alien was in cahoots with the cat. And, if you're on a spaceship that had an alien in it that was trying to kill you and there was a cat, the cat would probably be helping the alien find you. So that kind of sums up how I feel about cats and why cats might be consorting with rattlesnakes as well. Unfortunately, Lurker Troy, I think you'll have to. Sad, I know. Big Dave, I wouldn't mind a javelina. They apparently have some really nice fly tying hairs on them. Sir Zenith, I mostly trick. Doug, I don't know if that was a good thing. Who's Diana? You lost me there, Doug. I'm willing to play, but I don't know who Diana is. But I would probably pick Diana because I don't think that Sigourney is very attractive. That's probably a mean thing for me to say. Good point, Bill. Yes, Imhotep was afraid of the cat. Good point. Oh, Red Dwarf, of course. I loved that character of the cat. That was funny. If you haven't seen Red Dwarf, go see Red Dwarf. It is a fantastically funny sci-fi series out of the UK. I'm not drinking anything yet. I got the Youngling, the Yingling Oktoberfest. Looks like I can get it open. There we go. Hey, I only threw a little bit on myself this time. That's cool. So wife's in Pittsburgh again. It's good stuff. Oh no, wait. Too cluttered here. Excuse me for 1 minute. That's better. Bill loves Oktoberfest beer by Sam Adams. I get the feeling that that's not true based on the laughing emoji there. You know, everybody seemed to think that Joe Dirt movie is funny. I've never seen it, but like the scenes that I've seen just kind of annoy me, so. Yeah, Phil, I think that's why I find Sigourney Weaver to not be an attractive woman because I'm afraid she could, like, take me in a fight. Ugh, Sam Adams pumpkin spice. Oh, no. That's tall, sexy tree. That is funny. So you guys want to be the guinea pigs for my my attempt to do trivia? I don't have any trivia available, but the scenes that I've seen is not going to be said 10 times, no. All right, so this is kind of silly, but what I realized I can do is I can put myself into a little box and I can put the chat on screen so that you will all see the same chat that I'm seeing. That's not going to change what you see, obviously, in your chat, but you can at least double check what I'm seeing so you know that we're just doing, you know, we would all have the same sort of time base if we do that. So anyway, let me try this, and I want to see if you can see it, and if you can see it, if it's legible. There. So let me know how that looks. What did Barney Rubble do for a living on the Flintstones? I have no idea. I know he lost his job once, and Fred had to get him a job at the quarry. Exactly. You'll see my timeline. That's the idea, Phil. Bona Piper, happy Friday to you, my friend. I just don't know if the quality of that is going to be sufficient for you to actually read it and to see what I'm seeing. I mean, I can see myself that it is faithfully representing the window that I'd see. I don't think he worked at the quarry, Tim. I mean, they didn't seem to work together. The text is very small on Big Dave's phone. Well, Big Dave, you're supposed to be watching me on the big screen. I can't change the font size. I can only do that. So are most of you folks watching on a phone? I mean, if this isn't actually gonna work, I don't want to. I mean, Big Dave, can you at least see that you typed something in there and where it came up? I mean, you don't have to. It's too damn small, says Steve Russell. That's funny because I can read it and my screen is only like yay big, which is bigger than a phone, but I didn't know so many folks were watching this on a phone. Tim can't see it on his TV. Okay, so it's not going to work. Okay, so fair enough. We tried. We won't do it. Which is fine. Daughter bought a six-pack of at Aldi of pumpkin spice ale 2 years ago. She hated it and gave it to you, to me, to Ron. It was awful, so we used it in instant pancake mix to make pumpkin pancakes. Well, that's thinking there. Old Pops is saying that Barney ran a crane. Okay, I get that it was too small. I get that it's too small. Don't worry about it. I know, Michael. I know most people trust it, but the fact is that I've done it a couple times and people have gotten a little upset, and I just don't, I want to avoid that. I guess I wasn't so much thinking that you'd be able to read every word, but if it would just help you see the order of the answers if we were doing trivia. But anyway, it was worth a shot. Yeah, Fred ran the crane, the Brontosaurus crane, because he slides off it in the opening credits to when the whistle blows. Well, I see a couple of people saying, got to connect a TV to the internet, and Poems saying you have to have a smart TV. Actually, all you need is, if you want, I mean, I'm not promoting this or recommending you run out and buy it or anything, but I really like the Google Chromecast. I've got one down here in the basement. It just plugs into the monitor and connects to the internet through Wi-Fi, and I can watch YouTube, I can watch Netflix, Plex, any of the streaming services. Of course, if they're, if you have to pay for the service, you have to pay for it. But it's really remarkable how that little box, which I think costs like $28, $29, something like that, just gives me everything I want. I was even during the season watching the Phillies play on the ESPN app, which was free. So, yeah, I mean, I can't see every Phillies game, but the ones that are not blacked out would show up on the ESPN app. So that was fun, and don't need a smart TV for that. Just a monitor that has a USB input, or some way to convert. Oh, is it USB or is it HDMI? I don't remember now. I don't remember if it's USB. I think it's USB. Anyway, you can figure it out for yourself. Small but fierce. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, Kevin, I've got the same with Xfinity, but I've never really been comfortable installing the apps and stuff. I mean, it works. I just never figured it out. And yeah, I'm seeing people say Roku and Amazon Fire Stick. That all works fine too. I just prefer the Chromecast. I do remember the eyes as black as frying pans poem. Yeah, it was definitely influenced by the Honeymooners for sure. Oh, Everett, you got a lucky friend there, buddy. Kevin Newland wants to know if anyone's looking forward to Cornell and Deal Old Ones from Beyond. I don't know anything about it, Kevin, and I don't normally go for their limited release stuff. Although the old ones that I've had have been very good blends. Barney and Fred did smoke Winston cigarettes. Yep. Love that commercial. Couch, I want to be happy, but I want you to tell me that you're taking it out back and hitting it with a sledgehammer. That would make me really happy. And now I see that you're getting something else, which makes me unhappy. That's okay. That's okay. Sounds like a nice clone of Nightcap. Okay, well then I'm definitely not gonna touch that one. Grinnell and Deal does tend to blend very fresh, Phil. That's true. I look fantastic in an 84-inch TV, don't I, Troy? Oh, how's Red Pill Flake coming, Tim? Tim's making a new blend, to add to his resume of I hate Roger Goodell. White Ash Piper Squared, how you doing, buddy? Thanks, Big Dave. Looks like this game is off to the same start as last night's, huh? Don't you hate it when that happens, Kevin? You finally get around to trying something and it's gone. Tim, if you can get Rolo to join us, I'll do it. Hey, Doug, save that humor for stupid joke night. Terry Davey having some LJ Peretti and a Castello. Which are the Peretti blends there, Terry? C'est la vie or c'est la guerre, Kevin? Yes, Christian, I just spoke French. The only two phrases I know. Well, that, and I can also say I am not a giant French fry, but that just annoys French people. Or French Canadian. Ah, Phil. That sounds pretty good, White Ash. Park Square. Okay, Terry. Yeah, Paredes got some good stuff. It's a good question, Big Dave. Has anyone heard from Daniel Tobias? I sent him an email the other day. I forget who got in touch with me, but somebody kindly got in touch and asked me if I could reach out to him, because I hadn't even put two and two together, to be honest. And I sent him an email, but I haven't heard back from him. Hey, look at Phil speaking the French. Flint Hill Briar, good to see you, buddy. And there's Sailor, waiting for the ball game to end. The baseball game to end. Was waiting, gotcha. Oh, Tim, that one worked, Tim. Have not heard from Doc Hatfield for sure. Is that right, Big Dave? Is that an area that's in trouble right now? I know nothing of the geography of that area. Oh, that's interesting, Home. Yeah, the light doesn't quite seem to fit that, but sounds like a nice cigar. Very near, Tim. Oh no, Terry's jumping on the French train. Oh, Tim. Okay, you replaced it. So, I did finish up the Haunted Bookshop, and I've got my next pipe, and we are going to do the tobacco of the night, but while I was getting things ready for the live stream, I packed this pipe with some Haunted Bookshop, so I'm going to finish that before we pick the tobacco of the week. Did I say tobacco of the night? I meant week. This is my Rick Black Morta. And sadly, Rick shows up here every once in a while. Uh-oh. What did I do wrong here? But I don't believe he's on tonight. Sadly, Rick is apparently no longer making pipes for personal reasons. And maybe he will again someday, who knows. I hope he does, because he's a fine guy. Oh, there we go. Patrick Grant says that he saw Doc on one of Chad's live streams, and he looked much better. So that's good to hear. It's a few weeks ago. Okay, now you've all moved well outside of my understanding of French. Southern part. Okay, Big Dave. I don't know. Anyway, Daniel is not, he doesn't typically respond to email very quickly, so hopefully I will hear from him soon. Couch wants to know what the difference is between a mortar pipe and briar. Should I Be a smartass and answer his question, or answer the question that I think he probably wanted to ask. Oh, I'll be a smartass. The mortar pipe is made of mortar. Okay, Ron's got some more information there about Doc. Says he was looking pretty good. That's good to hear. Oh, thank you, Piper on the porch. That hurts. Couch is sending me a cat now. I did it. Honestly, I don't see much of a difference between Morta and Briar. Morta seems to have a little bit less personality, in my opinion. I mean, I've had this pipe for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, and it's it's a good pipe. It's in no way offensive to me. It's just not as, I don't know how else to explain it. It just doesn't, it's kind of like Meerschaum in a sense. You know, Meerschaum never really changes. It's just always the same, which is the same thing as saying it never really changes, I know. Which some people love about it. To me, that whole breaking in of Briar that I was talking about earlier, that's part of what I love about Briar. You know, each pipe kind of develops a personality over time, and you get to know it. This pipe's pretty much been the same from the day I got it, which is fine. But to me, this is the one mortar pipe I own, and I probably won't buy another. But there's nothing wrong with it. Kevin's already moving on to Hato's Delight. Fine thing to move on to. Oh, that's unfortunate, Phil. I hope Arnold gets past that. Doug Owen, that is pretty much accurate. Yeah, it's bog oak, and briars usually found in dry, rocky, sometimes mountainous areas. Yep. Mushroom Leg, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Phil, I understand that. That's the approach I would take too. Tim, you're just on fire tonight, aren't you? Is that so, Phil? That's fascinating. Chris Asquith harvests most of his own bog oak. Wow. I know Trevor Talbert did that. I mean, he was the first guy to use Morta because he lived in France at the time and actually was allowed to harvest it because I think it was on his property. Otherwise, you weren't allowed to. Uh, and then I think it was, you know, they started selling, like the original Morta was from that area in France, and then, you know, it's found in other places, obviously. So they started selling English, and I think there's some Eastern European bog oak as well. 40 servings of linguine from scratch. Wow, mushroom leg. That's a lot. All right, I think I have finished the. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I got one more light in this. Oh, definitely. Breaking news: generals gathering their masses. Sorry, Tim. You're just beyond me sometimes. Ukraine has the most durable bago. Rest is too spongy. Like, yeah. Yeah, apparently some of the mortar quality has been a problem in recent years. I don't know if that's changed or not, but I know there were a lot of burnout issues and stuff. (1947) unsmoked K-Woody. That's cool, mushroom leg. There is plenty of bog in Scotland, Michael, but they're using it for other things. Oh, maybe it's peat that I was thinking of, Whitish. Black Sabbath. Oh, was that the, was that the, is that, are you explaining Tim Voodoo? That was a song lyric? I don't know. All right, we have finished the last of this. But I gotta let the pipe cool down a bit before I repack it. So we'll do that. And then we'll move on to what I know you all tune in for. It's the tobacco of the week, right? That's why everybody's here, right? Don't send Black Sabbath to me, Tim. There's a reason I didn't recognize the lyric. The Smooth Piper's moving from Haunted Bookshop onto Granger in a Morlina pipe. Sounds good, Peter. Tobacco of the week. Yes, Phil. Yeah, Ron, I believe that the pipe factory was a big part of that. I don't know if the Morta was in his thinking when he moved there, or if it was like a fortunate surprise. I really don't know. I did an interview with him way back, and he talked about it there, so we could go back to that, but I probably won't, and you probably won't, so we'll just... I could ask him. How did I like Black Flag? Was that the last one you sent me, Tim? It does work on bugs, Michael. It was interesting, but not something I would listen to, if I recall. Not something I would choose to listen to all that often. Let me put it that way. Oh, that's a great one, Doug. for sure. I wish I could, Phil. It's a pain to get people to do it. For a while, people were volunteering and stuff, and I would, try to chase down folks like Trevor and all, but it just became me chasing down people, and it was getting harder and harder to find anybody. Oh, Big Dave, no, no, that's not a good thing. Was it Danzig, Tim? I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look. Thanks, Sir Zenith. My musical taste ranged somewhere between Johnny Mercer on the one hand and Willie Nelson on the other. And there's a lot in between those two, but Black Sabbath and Henry Rollins don't normally pop up in there. I do appreciate what you've shared with me, Tim. I enjoyed the experience of seeing it, but it's not just not my thing. Yeah, Phil, I'd be up for that. I wanted to. Me and Everett talked about doing a doing a co-host sort of thing at one point, and I'd love to do it, but I want to do it with video, and that's something I haven't quite mastered yet. And I know there's ways you can do it, but it just so far it just hasn't worked well for me. So, and I just need the time to sort it. Yes, Codger Jim, I think that's true. I don't like the noisy music, but you jump in too, Couch? Well, that'd be cool. This is Mac. Everett's got some haunted bookshop in his OMS Dublin. Cool. Yeah, Phil, I know they do allow a live co-host, but we tried to get that to work and we couldn't get it to work. I don't remember what the issue was. But yeah, they've got to start doing that because they are going to lose the game. And I'm not a it's not that I don't like any noise. Like I actually like quite a bit of the Ramones. So, most people would say that's kind of noisy. Um, you know, I'm pretty eclectic, but I just don't like the heavy sort of headbanging metal kind of stuff. Yeah, I know there's Zoom and StreamYard and all that stuff, but I just haven't had the time to get it to work. All great films there, Doug. Svengoolie tomorrow has, by the way, Halloween month, horror. Svengoolie. You know what he's playing tomorrow night? Godzilla. Because Godzilla is a horror movie. I don't care what any of you say. And I forget what the other one is, but it was, might have been one of the Frankensteins. I don't remember. But he's doing double features all through October. And I watched It Came from Outer Space last night. Yeah, I saw somebody said that they got a nasty gram from YouTube saying they were using ad block too much and they wanted them to pay. And this is probably what they want me to do. They're engineering me into this. I'm considering paying for YouTube. I'm considering doing their basic ad-free plan just because I watch it so much and I can't stand the ads anymore. I just can't do it. There are videos that I can't watch them because like it's a 15-minute video and every 3 minutes there's an ad, and it just drives me nuts. It breaks up the flow of the thing, and if it's something that's supposed to be funny or whatnot, it just completely ruins it. Because they're not placing the ads at appropriate times. Sometimes they're right in the middle of a sentence. Ah, the Blob, of course, Doug. Attack of the Crab Monster. I don't think I'm familiar with that one, Gary. Yeah, poem. I have Sirius, and I know exactly what you mean. Well, what surprised me is, I'm going to get to the tobacco over the week in a minute, I promise. They have two plans. Like the one is, I don't remember the price of the one that I'm considering. I'd like to say it's $12, but I think it might be $17 a month, which is kind of expensive for YouTube. But that's supposed to be ad-free. They also have a plan where you can get your local TV stations and stuff like that, which you don't need YouTube for. And they actually charge $70 a month for this. And I guess it's supposed to replace your cable, but I think most people get their internet through their cable provider, so I don't understand the logic behind that at all. Yes, Michael, that's amazing how little Lugosi made for that movie. Annoying indeed, Doug. All right, let's pull out some tobaccos here. I'm going to stick with the mystery box here. I still haven't looked at this, so I honestly, other than what we pulled out last week, I'm try to mix it around. And I'll tell you what, if I pull out something that we had last week and I actually remember it, we'll put it back in. How's that sound? So, first one. Can't read it. Don't know if you can tell me if this is a repeat from last week. I don't remember it. So this is Gawith and Hogarth, Louisiana Perique Flake. And this is from 2015. Again, these were all gifts in 2015. They may be older than that, but that's number one. Number two. I don't even know what this is. It must be McClellan. McClellan Brindle Flake from 2010. And number 3. Don't vote until you hear all 3. Savinelli Brunelli flake. I think. How do we turn that? There we go. All right, so those are the 3 choices for this week. We got Savinelli Brunel flake, Galveston and Hogarth Louisiana Perique flake, and McClellan's Brindle flake. 3 flakes. How about that? Very flaky choice. So let me know what you think. Brunello flake, trust me. Brindle. Couch, I don't know what number 2 was. So we got 2 for Brunello. I think number 2 was the Brindle. Right, that's the McClellan. Yeah, that was number 2. So we got 2 for the McClellan, 2 for the Savinelli. Patrick's also voting for Brindle. Another vote for McClellan. Brindle. Brindle seems to be running away with it. Number 2 usually means poop, says Tim. So I assume that means you're voting for number 2, which would be another vote for Brindle. And given that it's a McClellan product, McClellan, we got 1 vote for the Louisiana Perique. I think they all would produce copious amounts of rich white smoke there, Big Dave. Phil, I'd love to take your advice, but I got to go with the voice of the public here, and they're all saying Brindle. Michael Case wants me to have the brucellosis. I didn't pull that one out, Michael. Maybe next time. Jeffrey Feinberg weighs in with. We're going to go with the Brindle flake. I think the masses have spoken. Sorry, Phil. I'm looking forward to trying the Savinelli, but it's going to be the McClellan Brindle flake. And this is from 2010, so that is 13 years old. The 12-year-old in us has to come out sometimes, and the 13-year-old Brindle flake has to get smoked sometimes. Let me put these 2 back so I don't do something terrible with them. And by the way, this is working. Where is it? This was last week, which was the brown flake. And you can see there's just about 1 bowl left of that, which will go into the 2023 tobacco jar. So it is actually working. I don't know, Neil Day. Doesn't look moldy to me, but you may get it because I've never been a fan of McClellan. And Phil says he knows how it's going to go, so. All right, let's load up the Morta with some McClellan Brindle flake. And hey, if I like this, I can not buy anymore. It smells good, actually. Not vinegary like a lot of McClellan. Oh, it's very dry. Oh, this might be unpleasant. This is actually very dry. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to pack a small amount of this and try it because that's what we do, but I'm going to rehydrate this before I smoke any more. So I'm going to give it a fair shake. So I'm only packing like a half bowl here. Not even a half bowl. So there'll be more Haunted Bookshop tonight. A lot drier than Haunted Bookshop. I like the moisture content of going to bookshop. This is like if I rub it out, it'll break up into a powder. Hmm. Now, Chris, I have no idea what I'm smoking here. It is without question Virginia. It's got a spicy retrohale. I'd almost be tempted to say that it's got some perique, but I'm not tasting the perique. Well, that would explain this, Doug, because it definitely didn't have vinegar scent, and it's very dry. Drier than Red Green's humor. Yes, Tim. Tater chips. Hey, Big Dave, I think we got copious amounts of white smoke. Yep, ground up mummy dust. Good stuff there, Phil. Oh, Phil, I don't believe that. It was vinegar. That could be the case, Sailor. If there were perique, maybe I wouldn't be able to taste it. It may have mellowed out so much. But definitely on the retrohale, there's something spicy. Interesting. So other than this burning very hot, got lots of deep sweetness. It's got an interesting flavor. It might just be from being old and dry. Really, Phil? I'll take your word for it. I'm sure you've been sworn to secrecy. It's the flavor of pumice rock. No, it's I'm not gonna be able to place it. Probably once it hydrates, I'll be better able to say it. But Tim, an old library book is actually not a bad. It tastes the way an old library book smells. That's kind of where I was thinking, like old dusty lacquered wood, something like that. Gary Edminster is smoking a fourth generation bent pot with some Captain Kidd. Stop doing that, Tim. It freaks me out. Besides, most of what you're going to read are bad song lyrics that you put in there. Better than the bottom of Grandma's purse. Good point, Big Dave. Good point. Yeah, Tim, it kind of all makes sense now, doesn't it? Two to one. All right, Piper on the porch. Thank you. That's Schwarber when he's hot. Unfortunately, he runs hot and cold sometimes. Oriental Sugar Barrel? Sounds interesting, Hillbilly Piper. This is very sweet. I'll give it that. So I got to tell you what my wife's doing. This is so complicated. She went out to Pittsburgh because somebody is getting married. I don't actually know who, so it must be some family friend or something. But my wife's not going to the wedding. She went to Pittsburgh because she's going to dog sit for the woman across the street. And the sister, her sister, is taking the parents to the wedding. I think. Although tonight my wife told me she was driving to the hotel, so I don't actually know what's going on. It's just chaos. But unfortunately, her aunt, who is, I believe in her late 90s, took a fall the other day and wound up being hospitalized for a broken femur. And she said today that they were calling in the family and things apparently were not going well for the aunt. So that's, unfortunate. The wedding, obviously the wedding is a family friend, so it's not affected by that. It's like an hour away from where they live, so they're still gonna go and do that. But the aunt is in bad shape. So anyway, if you have the time, I'd appreciate your prayers and your thoughts for Aunt Evelyn, who was a very wonderful woman. I don't know her well, but met her many times and spent some time speaking with her. I think she's 98, which is pretty darn good. I would be quite happy to be 98. So yeah, it's every time you think you've gotten over the hill, something else comes up. So such is life. Oh, no problem, Phil. I get it. I was slowly revealing the story. So thank you all. Thank you. Fig banana bread. That sounds good, Tim. Oh, original Sugar Barrel Hillbilly Piper. I'm sorry if I misread that. I don't have my glasses on, and I thought I could read. I thought you said Oriental Sugar Barrel. Original sugar barrel makes sense. That's good stuff. Yeah. Indeed, poem. It's just turning the page and getting on to the next part of the story. Think thunk. Gotcha, Phil. Uh, my wife makes banana bread. She hasn't made it in a long time because she's diabetic, and so we try not to do things like that. Um, oh, she'll buy cookies and eat them, but she won't make me banana bread because she eats it. Anyway, I like banana bread, but she puts chocolate chips and walnuts in it, and I don't like that. I just like banana bread. I might like fig banana bread. I don't know. I never tried it, but I don't like chocolate chips in my banana bread, and I could do without the walnuts. I don't mind those as much as the chocolate chips. Michael, that's not a bad idea. Uh, Although, the sad thing about this is her son is taking care of her. Her son is, gosh, I don't know how old he is. He's probably in his 40s. So this is my wife's cousin. And he was helping her walk down the hallway. So he's like standing behind her and, not touching her, but ready to catch her in case she would have fallen or something. And apparently she just collapsed into his arms. And he laid her down on the floor and called the ambulance because she was in pain. And somehow she broke her femur. Like it wasn't even that she fell down and broke it. It was she fell down because she broke it, which, gosh, that's pretty brittle. Thank you, Gary, and everyone that said they're praying. I really do appreciate that, and Mrs. CaneRod appreciates it too. Yes, White Ash, that's the great conundrum, isn't it? No, that's not banana bread, Big Dave. I agree. Righteous literally means correct thinking. That's interesting, Phil. Northwest Piper, how you doing, buddy? Chocolate peanut butter banana bread. I don't know, Tim. I'm sure it's tasty. I don't get me wrong. The chocolate chip walnut banana bread tastes good. It's just not what I want in a banana bread. Yes, osteoporosis. That's true, Big Dave. That's very likely the culprit. Yeah, I guess I'm a banana bread purist, Michael. Walnut strudel banana bread? Yeah, I think that's strudel. Again, Tim, I would probably enjoy that. It's just not what I want. If somebody says I'm making you a banana bread, I don't expect a walnut strudel banana bread, but it would probably taste good. There you go. Sailor's a purist like me. Yes, Phil. Yeah, that is bad, and unfortunately, that is the way it goes. Oh, Voodoo, sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's terrible when that happens. Chris Kersetter, good evening and happy weekend to you, sir. Good to see you. Todd Munson, you're late. You're not late. You're just in time. You can't be late. Correct for whom? Gary, not sure what that's in reference to, but if it's to the banana bread, it's for everybody. You shouldn't be putting stuff in your banana bread. It's meant to be bread and bananas. Okay, the smooth piper likes walnuts, but that's it. Eh. You know, whatever. Banana bread's kind of like tobacco. Eat what you like. No, Phil, not at all. I appreciate your insight on that, and you know, I understand, but I actually didn't know about the pneumonia. I've always found it curious. You know, you hear these stories about, you know, somebody, an older person, I mean, a very older, much older person, has a fall and breaks their hip, and then they die. And I never really quite understood what caused that. And you know, I'm a physiologist, so it's the kind of thing I probably should know. But Michael, you're off the sweets too, huh? Popo Piper, grandmother made the best banana bread. Yep, that's what grandmothers do. They spoil us for everybody else. Good analogy there, Urban Herbit. Just like the haunted bookshop cake. Yep, you just don't need that. Jiu-Jitsu. Very interesting, Northwest Piper. I bought a book on Jiu-Jitsu when I was in high school. I didn't read it. And surprisingly, it had no impact on me, but I bought the book. I remember the author's name was Kiyos Naki. I don't know why that stuck with me, but now Kevin Doolin, that's just wrong. Hey, we got 1 minute left, and I still got all this beer to drink. Interesting, Phil. That is very interesting. Not enough pictures. Sorry there, Donnie. I didn't know you were looking for pictures. Beer and banana bread. How about if there's such a thing as beer bread, isn't there? You can make a beer banana bread. Two ideas can work together. Rum-soaked banana bread. There's an idea, sailor. Big Dave wants to know where banana bread originally came from. I would guess it was from bad bananas. Oh, in the book I bought. In the book I bought, not enough pictures. Oh, no, there were actually quite a few pictures, Donnie. I probably read the intro and like skimmed through it and thought, yeah, I'm going to do that. But you know, the I don't think you can learn something like martial arts from a book. I think the idea is kind of silly. So yeah, Phil, I know, and I enjoy that mindset. We come from a similar place there. All right, Piper on the 45. You have a good weekend, buddy. Yeah, I think it is a waste not want not thing, Kevin. It just, and it might have been a depression era thing where, the bananas are replacing other ingredients that might have been more expensive. Um, I don't know. I remember, so my wife was famous for buying bananas, and I don't really eat bananas, and she eats them, but not enough. And then the bananas would be brown, and then they'd start to go black. And I'd say, "Hey, we should throw those bananas away. The house is full of fruit flies." And she'd say, "Oh no, I'm going to make banana bread." And then time would go by, and I'd eventually throw the bananas away. And I was talking to a woman that I worked with. This was quite a while back. I was at a different job at the time, and we were in an airport actually, waiting to fly to Belgium. Actually, because I used to fly to Belgium a lot, and for some reason banana bread came up, and I said, "Oh, this is what my wife does," and she said, "Oh, she should freeze them." And I thought, no, I'm not going to tell her that, because then I just have a freezer full of brown bananas. That's like a really bad idea. And I explained that to the woman, and she said, "Oh yeah, I've got a lot of them in my freezer, but if I ever want to make banana bread, they're there." Well, I don't know. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me. Just maybe one set of bananas for banana bread, and then until you use those, throw the other ones away. You're just accumulating bad bananas. Two great tastes that taste great together, Michael. Birds won't eat bananas, huh? Really, Phil? There's another factoid for you. Spoiling bananas can explode due to methane buildup. Fascinating. Oh, Kevin, that sounds good. Ah, sailor, really? That's a good point, Peter. You could make the banana bread and then freeze it. But if you were willing to do that, you wouldn't have to freeze the bananas in the first place. That's the rub there. This is pretty much out. I'm going to give this one more light here. But for being very dry and for being only half a bowl, this has actually behaved very well. I can't wait to try it rehydrated. Mmm. Chocolate covered frozen bananas are good. I haven't had one of those since I was a kid. Always one bad banana in the bunch. Absolutely factual, Voodoo. And with that, folks, I think we're going to tie things up for the night. We're a little bit over here, and I'm looking forward to going to sleep. Well, there's an interesting fact from Tim Fournier. When you freeze bananas, throw them out in water, then you can squeeze the banana out of the peel. That just sounds like fun. All right, folks. So, with all that talk of banana bread and everything, we will do something fun next week. It's going to be Halloween, the show before Halloween, so we'll do something spooky. I don't know what, but I'll think of something between now and then. Watch for a Halloween special video that I'm going to try real hard to get out before next Friday. We shall see. And of course, I'll be back on Sunday with my normal Sunday video. So with that, folks, I will finish this up. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I had a great time as always. And we'll see you next week. Same time, same channel. Take care, everybody.